We are on daybreak in the third game. The series is tight. To the top right, our Zerg player starts in the red. He is
FXO Leenock.
He is really in a tight spot here. He needs to win this game, as does his opponent. Both of them want to advance. Nobody wants to go through the qualifier once again. That's the one thing that you definitely want to avoid. To the bottom left, in the blue, we have the Protoss player.
MVP TAiLS.
A great third map to go out on.
Yes.
Daybreak. I love this map for this matchup. It's all about the third base of the Zerg and or the third base of the Protoss. The aggression starts with the Protoss usually at the third of the Zerg, and then the Zerg will follow up by attacking the third of the Protoss if it is made. It's just so awesome to see the pressure and the amount of defense required to defend on this map. Like, for example, if we see heavy roach aggression from Leenock, how can TAiLS split his units? Can he split them well enough?
Leenock might. No, he's going for the pool at 15. I was just about to say he might go for a hedge first here once again. And this is actually one of the maps where it is a little bit easier to defend against the hedge first. Sorry, against the cannons that might follow a hedge first, because you have all those... you have the space behind the mineral patches, so it's a little bit easier to engage with drones and take down the cannon or the pylons.
Look at this, he's already queued the pylon. Boom. Not going to cannon this time, though.
No.
Not with the pool timing.
No, he's not going to cannon this time. But as you could see on the last map, he cannoned. He forced the cancel, but Leenock came back into the game. So Leenock played this quite well. And TAiLS is now cancelling, of course, his pylon, because he knows already that he just forced his opponent to get the hatch at his third.
Yep, and now the Nexus going down at normal time for TAiLS. Everything just going into what you would expect in a normal PvZ. The Zerg has to take his third instead of his natural in almost every single match these days.
Second pylon before he starts with the gateway here. And there it is.
The question is, what sort of build are we going to see from TAiLS this time? Like, for example, will he go Stargate play? Will he try to go for that fast robotics? We may see even a Sentry Immortal type push on this map. That's entirely possible. It's all kind of in his court right now. And this often is how kind of the mid-game shapes up.
Yeah, Leenock didn't take the third just yet, but there's the hatch. Took the natural is now on 3 bases, and TAiLS will definitely have to come up with a game plan that allows him to force Leenock back here. This is one of the maps that Leenock is definitely comfortable on. And now, of course, the tech will start just momentarily for TAiLS, who currently has the cannon in position, can throw those Zerglings back. This is really intense right now. TAiLS is a great player, and he might come up with a plan that Leenock is not prepared for.
Yeah. You know, TAiLS, like you said, he's not known for his late game. He's not known for land the longer style. And when you're down into the third game, where you just lost your last game, I would say, you know, it's obviously the score is even, but when you lose the game before the third game, you feel a little bit down. Like, you feel a little bit stressed. It's hard to say if he's really going to actually play a big aggressive style here. He's getting +1 right away, which does indicate he may want to do 4 Gateway Zealot pressure, which is actually not that aggressive. It's not all in, and I think that would be a great way for TAiLS to opening. Given his style, given his really good micro and decision making, I think that might be something we see here.
It has already been spotted by Leenock, who has a few Zerglings positioned outside the wall of his opponent, so he knows that there is some kind of gateway pressure coming in. And, well, Leenock at the same time, he's obviously focusing on his economy, which is what you'd expect. We have him with only 4 Zerglings on the map, 28 harvesters so far, but he's just now starting his drone production like really up. His lava mechanics are kicking in here. And here's the transition with the robotics.
Yeah, he's going to go Robo, actually.
We might see the Immortal push here.
Yeah, we definitely might. It's all going to come down to when he takes these gases, because he does need a lot of sentries to make that work. We may see Warp Prism play as well.
Yes, Warp Prism, maybe both combined. We've seen different variations of this. At the same time, of course, Leenock has a lot of options if he has to face an Immortal push here. He can go for the GSL style. Symbol likes drop play against Immortal push. You can circumvent those force fields and drop your units directly on top of the Immortals and the sentries. We have the possibility of run-bys. A fast tech with the Infestors and the Fundals on the sentries is also something that can work. But you always want to spread your creep so that you have the potential to do run-bys. Leenock is doing a good job spreading his creep out of the third base, but if we have a quick look at his natural, actually, that's the one place where he struggles a little bit. He has an active creep tumor, but he's not really using it as of now.
Yeah, he definitely needs to start spreading that a little bit. He's going to need at least 2 because he wants to spread not only towards the outside his base, towards the watchtower, but towards his third as well. So that's something that he will definitely have to consider soon. His lair is about third of the way done. This Overlord will see nothing. Everything is positioned at the natural. As you can see, those gateways right over there at the ramp. Not going to see it. So this is a very unfortunate scout time for that. He has a second Overlord, but it's not in place to scout. It only sees the third base.
Leenock doesn't really know anything. The Immortal may be in a bit of a tough spot here, because if Leenock would run in with the Zerglings and just trying to scout something, he would at least spot one of those Immortals. And this is going to be the Immortal push. We already have a fair amount of sentries on the map, 3 in total. He can warp in another round of 3 in just a few seconds when those warp gates are done. And of course, the Warp Prism as well. 2 Immortals, the Warp Prism. Leenock with a great creep spread at the third though. And what does he do reaching there? He's going for Borrow this time.
Yes.
Do we have an Observer? I don't think we do. No.
Not yet, but he will likely follow the Prism with 1. But, you know, the timings for that can be a little bit shaky. I think the Burrow will not really be a problem for Tails. It's going to be the Roach count, which is not really that high right now. He's going to 11 now, but Zerglings are going to be practically useless with this many sentries out. The energy is still building.
Leenock knows already. He knows, and just look at the creep spread at the third. That is the one thing that will help him so much. He's spreading creep right now, and he needs to. He's getting this Roach speed, which is really important for this build. He's supply blocked though, and this is a big problem. He should not be supply blocked, but he's already getting 6 Overlords. He knows that this is really tough on him.
Yeah,
and
this is
now
dire.
he has to get additional units. He has to get these run-bys into position, right? Because he might be ahead in overall supply, also in army supply, but the next round of warp-ins, it will be a crucial thing.
Yeah, the thing is, force fields can sometimes really make army supply irrelevant. We'll see how well he does here. The Observer now going to come and join him so he can get that creep.
But there are no force fields just yet. Tails is not going to bait into getting force fields. And here we are, the force field's very nice.
And this is terrible for Leenock because every Roach he makes at these bases will be killed immediately. Oh, great force field trapping so many of the drones. Some of them do escape, but the Roaches that spawn are being killed so quickly. Look at the positioning here. He has to use very few force fields to block.
This is an awesome position for Tails to be
insane.
in. Especially with a Prism. This is brilliant. The best position for him to be in. Leenock has no means of attacking this. Right now he tries to, but this is really... Well, the only problem that Tails has is he can't get out of this position, but at the same time, whatever Leenock does, he will not trade cost efficient. Just look at it, but the Immortals are gone. He actually doesn't pick them up with a Warp Prism, and now Leenock might be able to crush the force.
Yeah, he's got a great concave here. Mostly Zealots coming in from Tails right now, and it looks like he is actually going to be forced back. He may pick up some Stalkers on his way out. The hatchery has been killed, but with the second hatchery there, the macro hatchery, if he just sends his drones down the mine, he won't lose that much.
15 workers killed. We have now 50 against 47, and Leenock forces this back. Tails, if he actually had positioned those Immortals to the back, behind the Stalkers, just think about it. They would have been able to shoot down those Roaches the entire time. But he didn't do it. He never really pick them up.
Oh, this is scary because he may kill some of these queens and some of these units, but the attack of Leenock is going to be so scary. And Leenock actually turns back to defend against these Stalkers because he knows there's a lot of production. But this is absolutely great for Tails. He's killing so many units here. He's losing some more mining time, and he almost forced to cancel on the hatchery.
On the other hand, though, Tails might have been able to kill a lot, but still, he's not in a position where he has this game. He's behind an overall supply. We have Leenock with a decent economy. He's getting ahead in workers once again.
And Leenock's engagement was more cost efficient in the end.
The position for Tails was perfect. The problem is, if you're trapped in this position, you cannot get out. So you have to have the perfect position with the units as well, not with the entire army as a whole, but also with the individual units, and that's something that Tails could not pull off, so he lost everything, he couldn't retreat. But as you said, he made sure that he had to use a minimum amount of force fields to force his opponent back. But this is still a very, very tough spot for him to be in.
He's gonna go to phase 2 here, doing the exact same thing again. Look at the eccentric count, it's a little bit lower than before, but everything else he's doing, Warp Prism, 2 Immortals, he's going to go for another push. He's sealed his wall, and this indicates that he is definitely going to try to end the game here. However, Leenock is right at his door. He's going to have to turn around.
He's going to snipe. I actually thought he would snipe the Cybernetics Core here, but he doesn't have the time to do it. At the same time, though, Leenock will be able to defend against the second wave a lot easier than before, because now he has Infestors as well.
Now this is, well, Leenock is continuing to threaten with these units at the back. 2 more cannons going down. He's got 2 sentries back here as well. This is scary for Leenock because these sentries will buy him a lot of time. But he does get through a little bit here. A few Stalkers warping in. TAiLS needs to hold here desperately, and Leenock turns around. This could be terrible for him because TAiLS is already at his base with a really strong army. He's got 2 Immortals again, and the sentry count is quite high. So is the energy count on all of those sentries.
Leenock has a lot. A nice fungal. That was a brilliant fungal. That was
important. So important, in fact.
And another one. There's fungal number 2, and this is exactly the problem that he have. And now here they come. The units angling in from everywhere. And the problem is that he's running out of force field energy. This is basically the last force fields that he has. And Leenock is moving back once again. He's kiting these units. He has speed for the Roaches. He's making good use of the creep as well.
Oh.
And here comes Leenock. TAiLS in trouble.
TAiLS definitely in trouble. He did not deal with, he didn't have any answer for the Infestors. The Immortals still remain alive, but for how long? The Zerglings close the distance, and Leenock, he doesn't have a concave. He has a surround. He takes out all of the units of TAiLS, and it turns out his decision to turn around as well as his great fungals will win him this game.
Oh wow, that was horrible for TAiLS. The second wave of attack is just always so difficult to pull off because you are facing Infestors 9 out of 10 times. And this is exactly what just broke TAiLS back. Leenock with those 2 fungals on the sentries, he forced force fields as well, and then he could stream in as soon as his opponent was running out of energy. Definitely a bad situation for TAiLS. So now suddenly we have Leenock on 3 bases, being ahead in economy, adding additional drones. Maybe with his attempt in the main base.
No.
But Leenock is already in position with units.
Yep, his queen is targeting the Warp Prism. He's got Roaches here. He cancels out of there.
Bottom right, a pylon was blocking the positioner for the 4th base. Leenock spotted it and took it down.
Leenock 100 supply ahead right now. 110, 197 to 86. That makes 111. And
you sure?
I'm absolutely sure he made 1 more unit after I said that. It's 1 drone. You can see on the production tab. It's not my fault. And the 3rd Nexus is actually, he made the silhouette. He saw these units coming across. He said, no, I can't do this. I can't. And he's asking himself right now, what can I do?
That's not a lot. He can hope for Leenock making a mistake. But in terms of what he can actually do in order to pull it, I like those 2. Wait, was it actually a mistake with those sentries, or did he try to trap him?
I think it was a pathing mistake.
Yeah, it looked more like a path mistake when he didn't use those units. Yep. Originally, I thought he tried to trap
1
him.
fungal does not occur. He actually had the ability to grab all those units once, and then you could have killed them with the Roaches, but even without grabbing them, the fate of the Roaches may be the same. I'm not sure if he should be attacking up this ramp, but he's got a 2nd wave of units to go for the Nexus. It's a group of Zerglings, and they will force a cancel. Actually, no, he's just going to go for the flank.
He's just going in there. He's taking down this 1 Immortal that he catches off guard, and now he uses the rest of the units to walk up the ramp. But once again, the force fields for TAiLS are spot on. The Zerglings run back. The Nexus has been cancelled. The probe is down, and now 14 Mutalisks to follow up for Leenock. And I don't think that TAiLS can actually beat this army.
It will be pretty tough. Some cannons adding extra DPS at the back here. The Immortals doing what they can. All the Zerglings have fallen. But even though TAiLS is going to probably survive here a little bit longer, he's just lost all of his Immortals. And, well, actually, he will not lose all of them.
It's too many Immortals.
He lost a lot.
Yeah, he lost a lot, but there's still too many for TAiLS. But the Mutalisks, this is something that he did not anticipate in the main base, though. There they are occupied with a Warp Prison that warps in unit after unit. The block on the ramp as well. And now... What? Hello? Hey there. Hey. Mutalisks. The Warp Prison is still alive.
He isn't mine. He was like, listen, if you warp in any units of that Warp Prism, I will kill you because you need every warp in you can get on your army right here, right now, where my Mutas and Zerglings are, and you are dead.
He is dead. Oh, wow. The Stalkers, they die. The 2 Immortals, they will follow suit. TAiLS, GG's. The Leenock reaches the next round, and TAiLS, oh, I'm so sad for him. He is down to code B again.
Great decision-making by Leenock, great micro as well, always setting up the best engagements he could have afforded, even when all those units were trapped in the corner with a great position. Like you said, if he had the Immortals at the back, he could have done a lot more,
That was not an easy game to win.
No, it was not.
TAiLS is a strong opponent. He showed it today. It's really sad to see him drop down into Code B again.
Yep, Coach Choi going in there talking to him a little bit, and you know, he cannot feel comfortable about his loss, but he went for an aggressive timing attack and it failed, and that never feels good. It always leaves a bad taste in your mouth knowing that you were so close to winning, but your opponent holds. He holds, and he holds your second attack with the Infestors, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm still really sad for him. As he said, with the Immortals in a better position at his spot at the first push, he could have done a little bit more damage. Leenock defended very, very well. He killed the entire army, and then with the second wave, the push was already a little bit. I don't think that TAiLS really wanted to push out, but he didn't have a lot of options. How can you follow this up? You can try to take your third base, but it's going to be really difficult. Yeah. Him pushing out kind of gambled on the hope that Leenock did not have Infestors. Leenock had 2, was building a third, got these fungals off. The sentries were in a lot of danger of being just fungal to death, of chain fungals, and then he used the force fields to run out of energy. And as you said, it was not a concave, it was actually a surround. Leenock just crushes this force, and from this point on, the only thing that TAiLS could hope for was a good warp in with a Warp Prison. And even though he made good use of it, it just wasn't enough. It
certainly was not. Well, we are going to have another 5-minute break. When we get back, we have Pult versus Zen Extreme, so don't go anywhere.